So exam is not examen in Swedish. Many times I heard my students say exam to represent exam in English, which is quite confusing actually in Swedish because you shouldn't really do that. Examen means totally different than exam in English. So today let's explore these two words, how to say exam in Swedish and what is examen in Swedish. Let's begin with exam in Swedish. How do we say exam in Swedish? We can say ett prov, ett prov. Do you remember we actually have a verb also? To try in Swedish means att prova, prova. So that's the verb. Ett prov means an exam or a test. Du kan också säga en test. En test, it's the same in English also. You can also use it in Swedish. En test, it's also a Swedish word. Vi har också en tenta. En tenta, it's also an examination, en tenta. But we always use actually the definite form, bestämd form, tentan, tentan, the exam. Because it's always in a context. When you talk about examination, you always have a context. You are referring to a specific test. Then that's why we use tentan so often in oral speech. Och tenta kommer från egentligen ett ord som heter tentamen. So tentan is actually an abbreviation of tentamen. Tentamen is the full length word actually, but you don't really usually use it. And actually in Swedish you can also say en examination. Examination, usually in the university context, but it is rarely used. So the most common expression in Swedish is ett prov, en test, en tenta. So examen in Swedish, we've already talked about it. Examen in Swedish has nothing to do with exam in English. So examen in Swedish means actually degree. Till exempel, vi har kandidatexamen. Kandidatexamen means bachelor's degree. Magisterexamen. Magisterexamen, it's actually 1 year master degree. Masterexamen, 2-year master. But those two different type of masters are translated as the same master in English. So they would be written as master's degree in English when you do the translation. Civilingenjörsexamen, civil engineering degree. Vi har också lärarexamen, the teacher's degree. Läkarexamen, the medical doctor's degree. They are separated from the other programs of the other degrees because they lead to a license, legitimation. Legitimation means both license and also your ID. So the abbreviation for ID in Swedish is leg. Okej, och sen har vi forskarutbildning. Forskarutbildning literally translated to researcher's education. So it means you are doing a PhD. Du kan också säga en doktorand. Doktorand means a person who is doing PhD. So a PhD-ing person, you cannot say that in English, but it is what it means in Swedish. När du är klar med forskarutbildning, when you're finished with the researcher's education, you would get doktorsexamen, the doctor's degree. So here we are mostly referring to philosophical doctors, doktorsexamen. Så, hur säger man I've just finished my degree? How to say I've just finished my degree in Swedish? Yes, there are 2 ways to say. You can say jag har precis tagit examen. I took my degree. Jag har precis tagit examen. I've just taken my degree. But there is a more formal way. but we don't really say that to our friends. But it's always good to know. So you can also say jag har precis avlagt examen. Avlagt means also finished or accomplished. Så jag har precis avlagt examen. Och infinitivform att avlägga examen, to finish the degree. Now, it's time for a test. Nu ska vi ha en test. Vi ska översätta några ord från engelska till svenska. We will translate some words from English to Swedish together. Are you ready? Är du redo? Okej, nu ska vi börja. Första ordet, bachelor's degree. Hur säger man det på svenska? How to say that in Swedish? Yes, kandidatexamen. Nästa ord, master's degree. Hur säger man det på svenska? Kommer du ihåg? Det är masterexamen. Masterexamen. Nästa, hur säger man a PhD student? Kommer du ihåg? A PhD student. Du säger en doktorand. En doktorand. Nästa, hur säger man doctor's degree? A doctor's degree. Ja, det är doktorsexamen. Doktorsexamen. So examen means degree. Exam in English can be translated as en test, ett prov, en tenta på svenska. Har du förstått allting? Have you understood everything? Jag hoppas att du har gjort det. Tack så jättemycket för idag och vi ses nästa gång. Hej då!